Julius absolves Vengeance of his crimes, and I am mad. Julius's magic is gone. The influence of nobles has shifted for the people. What the heck is a swallowtail? Other nations are trying to overthrow the Clover Kingdom? ASTA's gonna die? Let's talk about it. What's up, everyone? It's Jack Oates to go. You either know or you don't. I'm just happy I remembered my slogan that time. So if you're new here, please make sure you stick around. Make sure you hit the like button. No. Smash. No. I want you to Hulkamania, leg drop, Rasen Shuriken, a consecutive normal punch, Kamehameha, freaking Detroit. Smash that like button and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. The links will be in the description below. Please make sure you follow me there, because I will also be having exclusive content on those platforms that I can't show here, because some creators of some shows are at YouTube Creators Next trying to take us down because they don't want their shows or series to be featured in our YouTube videos when we're actually doing them a service. So please follow me there to get that sort of stuff where they can't do anything about it. But without further ado, let's just get right into it. Why in the WUT did Julius essentially just forgive Vengeance? Like, what is going on? This is the first thing that happens in the chapter, is that Julius essentially just tells Vengeance, hey, you did a bad thing, but I'm not going to actually punish you. Instead, what I'm going to do is reprimand you by essentially making you serve in the same capacity you've been serving for the Magic Knights, but just extra hard. I mean, I personally didn't like it, because no matter how you look at this, Vengeance is a piece of
watch your profanity.
A piece of demonetization. Words. Okay? He's not my favorite character. Like I said, no matter how we look at this, Vengeance willingly turned in all of his comrades and the humans in general for Patry and his mission, which is, sure, he could have been, lied to and fed some slightly false information for Patry to gain the edge over Vengeance, but the mission didn't make any sense to begin with. Now, if Vengeance looked at it like, a normal freaking human being, he would have said no, and this is why. Yes, the elves, I totally get it. They feel like they were wronged. The story they knew, yeah, they were totally wronged. But now we know, due to hindsight and what's happened, that it was all the devil manipulating, what was going on and how the elves were going to perceive what was happening. But regardless of that, if I was told by some elf living inside my body, hey, my people were wronged by, the nobles of the humans, so I've got to get my vengeance, I'm going to be like, okay, when did this happen? I get it, man. That's awful. This happened 500 years ago. That crap is irrelevant now. It doesn't concern anyone now. Now, I totally get the mission. I totally get what Patry was going for. But the thing is, it's just 500 years removed. It doesn't freaking matter anymore. It's history. It sucks, but it's history. And for you to want to take revenge on people that really don't have any connection to that is beyond absurd. And the fact that William gave into that, he should be jailed. Now, let me back up. While I may not have agreed with this at a personal standpoint, at a militaristic standpoint, this kind of had to happen. Vengeance has proven a couple times that he is definitely an asset to the Clover Kingdom. Him and his abilities are almost unmatched by far. And we can't afford to move into the bigger story without a powerhouse like Vengeance. So I can get behind him not being imprisoned or harshly judged and whatnot. Again, this decision also reflects on Julius. It keeps adding on to his overly kind nature. And now my question is becoming, is this Julius's one fault? We know Julius is extremely intelligent. He was powerful. There's got to be something that isn't a great quality in him, or else we would have the perfect character. And I believe that, that quality is actually him being overly kind. I think that this decision is not going to reflect well on him. I actually see it causing a lot of unrest among the rest of the Magic Knights. Even Yami expressed some type of not disgust, but he definitely did not agree with Julius's decision. So I can only imagine what another Magic Knight would say if they see William out and about still serving with really no repercussions. So I think it will reflect on Julius negatively overall. I still don't agree with it, but I get it. The only thing is, William Vengeance is at the bottom of my favorite character list for Black Clover. He's still above Seke, though, because Seke sucks, and he's awful. He's like the worst character across anime. Next up, Julius explains how he was able to pull off the Jesus move, and it was due to a magic item that he found that was abandoned, and it was called the Swallowtail. Now, when they show the Swallowtail, it is this giant. It looks like if you pressed a button, a door would open, and Vegeta or Nappa would pop out of it, or Raditz, or man, it's been so long since I watched Dragon Ball. But they all came on that, right? Yeah, they did. Okay. I was straight up just like, Raditz, Nappa, Vegeta, whatever. Yeah, but you get it. It just looks like one of those capsules that crashed down in the Dragon Ball series, but it has the insignia of the crest that was on Julius's head. He goes on to explain the function of this tool, and the function of this tool that was left behind is to store magic. So somehow he didn't really go into depth. He didn't go into too much detail on all of what he did. But this giant thing, he was somehow able to, transport it so that it's just like a crest on his head, or he made it smaller and it's like an implant. He really didn't say much about how that giant thing became just a crest on his forehead. But the functions of the crest on his forehead and the tool itself are the same, and he just thought, hey, I'll put 2 and 2 together. I'm going to do the most badass thing ever and try to see if this resurrection thing will work. And he even explained in the last chapter, it was honestly a shot in the dark as to if it would work or not in the first place. So yeah, he put 2 and 2 together, which is saying, okay, our magic is actually compatible. I'll start storing my actual time and magic into that mark. Kind of like I was saying in the last video, how it's like the Byakugo seal that Sakura and Tsunade have, how they store chakra and they can release it once it's been built up. So, he briefly explains that's how he pulled off the Jesus move, and that's cool, that's awesome. It shows Julius's intelligence and how versatile he can be. He's broken, and I'm kind of glad they did this, because I'm sure Tabata was like, I'm sure he planned it out to be that way, that Julius is going to be like the most broken dude ever. He never really struggled during a fight, and the only reason why he died was because he was protecting like the lives of thousands of other people, and it just left an opening. So, I mean, yeah, he died, but I mean, even Patri knew that he stood no chance against him, and Patri's pretty dang strong. In order to even the playing field, of course, he's got to come back younger, and he also confirms that he's lost most of his magic. Now, I think all of that should have been painfully obvious. Everything from the crest to just having one page of Grimoire kind of insinuating that he had lost most of his magic. But people still want to debate that. I don't know why, but I mean, things are just right in front of your face, and people just don't want to listen. So, but now he's confirmed it, which I'm glad. So now that whole thing can be laid to rest. He hasn't said whether he can build on that or not, or if he can get back to where he was. I'm sure he can. It would be so ridiculous if he couldn't. But I'm pretty sure, I'm comfortable saying that it's something that he's just going to have to work on. How long that's going to take, who knows? Because there is a factor of training your body and your mind and your spirit. Even though his mind is still intact and somewhat his spirit, it is at another stage of his life, a younger stage of his life. So we'll see how that plays out later on in this series. But then Julius decides to drop two huge bombs on us. Now, the first bomb wasn't really like a bomb, but it was like a bomb. He essentially said the Clover Kingdom is susceptible to being overthrown by other nations, or ASTA will die. First thing is first, it's only natural that the Clover Kingdom is at risk of being overthrown by other nations, because that's just how things work. Even in our world, there are a lot of examples of this happening in our world, but I won't get into it so I can avoid getting political in these trying times that we're in. So the thing is of course, if there are, let's just keep it at Clover and Diamond. I know there's more, but just for the conversation purpose. The Diamond Kingdom, we know for sure they are not cool with the Clover Kingdom, and they've actively tried invading the Clover Kingdom, but ultimately failed thanks to William Vengeance, again proving his worth to the Clover Kingdom. Now, if the Diamond Kingdom finds out that the Clover Kingdom is infighting and in a state of unrest with no Wizard King or a severely weakened Wizard King, then that's their opportune time to go in and just mess everything up. Of course, that's a real issue. So the fight's not over. They need to reestablish order fast, or other people are going to come in and make sure that the Clover Kingdom cannot bounce back. Now, with that being said, it's pretty obvious. Like I said, it's not a bomb, but it was like a bomb, because the fight's not over. Which gives us room for ASTA's demon to show up, like, come on! If you tune in on the last video, I gave Tabata, who's also behind the camera, he's got one more chapter. I gave him a 2-chapter buffer to bring out ASTA's demon, and he hasn't done it yet. And if he doesn't do it by next chapter, he's going to be facing some major consequences. You hear that? All right, man. Don't mess up. So this "or ASTA will die" part, I had to reread the end of that chapter maybe like 50 times. 53. Because the wording was so particular that it just didn't sit right upon just a face value read. And it was because of the word "or." He worded it in such a way where he essentially says, the Clover Kingdom will be overthrown by other nations, but if that doesn't happen, ASTA will die. Something along the lines of that, which sounds really weird, and I wonder why he said it like that. Now, maybe it's an issue of just where I got the source from. Maybe the translation was a little off. Who knows? But if it's truly worded like that, that's honestly weird, and I have nothing for it. I mean, I can't say I have nothing for it. I can only kind of spout some ideas out. Now, we know Julius is anything but a novice at what he does. He's extremely intelligent. His intelligence is vast, and we're only scratching the surface of it. Not only is his intelligence vast, his foresight is incredible, and it's kind of as expected of someone whose magic is time magic. So I wonder what Julius actually knows about things going on in the world. Like I've already alluded in other videos, that maybe he actually does know that at one point elves did exist, and there might be other races like we know Charmies and Gnome. Maybe he knows all about this, or at least some of it, but he hasn't disclosed it because it doesn't concern the public, even the Magic Knights. Now, I kind of wanted to say this before I get back into the point I'm making here. I want to go back to the beginning of this series, back to when Yami was introducing ASTA to the rest of the Black Bulls. Yami specifically says that this isn't everyone. There are some members that just aren't here right now, or they're still on missions. And then we were provided with a silhouette. It was, of course, Yami. There were Finral was in there, I believe. Gray was there. There were some other characters that were in there. And they slowly started getting filled out as the series went on. Because we know that Henry was there, but he just wasn't there, because he was in his bedroom. The second one was Noelle. She was too prideful to even hang out with the rest of the Black Bulls at the time. And Zora was off playing Batman, you know, avenging civilians and bringing justice to the streets and getting rid of corrupt nobles. So none of those three run missions. Now, this leaves the last one. We're left with one silhouette of the Black Bulls that has not been introduced at all in this series. That means that he's probably, or she, this person has long hair, it looks like braids or dreadlocks. So I'll say he or she is out on a mission right now. And not only could this person be a potential vice captain of the Black Bulls, I think this is alluding to the ANBU Black Ops of the Magic Knights. Now, I know we haven't been really introduced to that, but let's get real. In any world, in any universe, especially in anime, when it comes to military, there's always your main branches that the public readily sees. But then you have guys that are working in the shadows, collecting information, breaching enemy territory, doing all the dirty work that the public does not see, that other people are unaware of. Even the main military branches are not completely aware of this sect of the military. So I think we're about to be introduced to the ANBU Black Ops of the Magic Knights, because Julius seems to know ASTA's importance and everything. He doesn't seem so surprised as to what happened either, which is kind of weird, right? So I don't want to jump ahead and say, oh, he probably, you know, used his time magic, traveled in time and saw things and was like, oh, yeah, cool. I think it's more realistic to say that we'll call them ANBU Magic Knights. The ANBU Magic Knights are out on these missions providing him with information, intel, that he needs to be able to know how to move his military and know what missions to send them out on and whatnot. So I think we're about to be introduced to that, and on top of that also maybe introduced to that particular person of the Black Bulls who might be in this ANBU Magic Knights sect of the military, and maybe also introduced as the vice captain of the Black Bulls, because we still don't have one. But I mean, that's where my head is at. Let me know where you're at. This chapter was really cool as far as information went. I'm not really going to rate these last chapters because they are winding down before they get into the bigger stuff. It's just good for information, and they're providing us with quite a bit. So I'm interested to see where they're going to go. Let me know where you think they're going to go. Let me know just what you think in general of what I said. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Put in the comment section below. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Like I said, I'll post exclusive content there. You can also talk to me there. You can talk to me on here as well, but I'll probably be notified of a comment on Instagram before I'm notified of one for YouTube. So that's just kind of how it works. But yeah, either way, please feel free to reach out. I'm sorry this video came out so late. I'm actually getting enrolled into a school district here. I'm going to start teaching in a few weeks, so I have to readjust how and when I'm filming these videos. So I'm not going to stop. Don't worry about that. But just know that videos might seem sporadic until I get an actual, timeline figured out. So, like I said, let me know what you guys think about this. Thank you for tuning in. Please follow me on all those things, be all cool and stuff. Don't forget the Hulkamania leg drop, Detroit, smash that like button to help me out. Please tune in again. And this has been Jack Oates with severe memory loss. This has been a Jack Oates public service announcement. That's not it either. This has been the best of times, and it's been the worst of times. I really don't know my own slogan for the second time. My name's Chief. This has been Jack Goats, the GOAT. You either know or you don't.